Am I the a-hole for not sharing my inheritance with the rest of my family? Am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend to stop knitting so much? Am I the a-hole for not cooking my pregnant wife dessert? Throwaway. I, 29 male, have a wife who is 6 months pregnant. She doesn't work. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom while I work, which is completely fine. Recently, her hormones, or at least I hope it's the hormones, have been very angry towards me. I've been trying to help her throughout it and give her any craving she wants, even going out at 1 in the morning to get her some lemon juice. The other day, I had a long day at work and was very tired, and I just wanted to go home and sleep. When I got home, my wife greeted me and then asked me if I'd bake her a cookie cake that she's been craving because she likes how I make it. I apologized to her, saying I'm tired and would make it for her tomorrow when I come back from work and bring her some Panda Express. She started saying that she's the one who's pregnant and that I shouldn't be tired. I didn't answer her. I was tired and went upstairs to sleep, but she kept yelling at me she's craving cookie cake and she wants it now, so I told her to stop being a brat and wait for tomorrow. She slammed the door on me and went downstairs. So, am I the a-hole? Edit, she's never acted like this before being pregnant. I'm gonna say you're not the a-hole because I get it. You work a long, hard day and you don't want to come home, and baking is essentially working another 6-hour shift depending on what you're making. So it makes sense you didn't want to jump right back into work. Not the a-hole. Being pregnant doesn't give her a get out of jail free card for bratty behavior. And you're not in a competition about who has the right to be tired. Not the a-hole. Yes, pregnancy is hard, and harder for some than others. But it's not an excuse to be rude and unreasonably demanding to people you love. Just because she's pregnant doesn't mean you're also not tired. Yeah, one thing doesn't really cancel out the other, Apparently some women use the excuse of pregnancy to let their entitlement go rampant. Don't fall for that, OP. Not the a-hole. Plus, this is the perfect time for her to brush up on her baking skills. I mostly agree with you, but weird to tell her to go bake it herself. She is still pregnant at 6 months. That's pretty bad. Not the a-hole. Yeah, she's having a kid and growing a baby, but you also get to sleep too. She doesn't get to yell when her every craving isn't instantly granted. You aren't a genie. Now that would make this more interesting if they were a genie and they just didn't want to grant the wish. She doesn't own tired. There are many reasons people can be tired. It sounds like you're doing a lot to help, but should be given kindness. I think it's time for a conversation, as this yelling and slamming doors needs to stop. Otherwise, there is no guarantee this won't continue after the baby is born. Would she tolerate a child being this demanding? Not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for making my son cook for his sister, even if it means cooking at midnight and waking him up? It's literally 14 days now out of 185 school days. He won't fail school. That's extremely dramatic for 2 weeks of being tired. My daughter, 21, gets off at work at 4 a.m. She usually stays up until lunchtime and then sleeps until she goes to work. She works night shift. My son is 17 and still in high school. I'm at work when she is sleeping, but my son was home for the summer and he would wake her up to make him food. He would pester her until she did it so she could go back to sleep. It came to a head a month ago where my daughter lost it, and I finally learned about it. Anyways, long conversation, and his punishment, he has to make my daughter food when she asks for it at any time, the same amount she did for him. So it was about 30 times he woke her up, so he has to make her 30 meals. Everyone agreed, though my son wasn't happy and picked it over losing his phone for a month. So my daughter will wake him up to make her food. He still has 15 meals left. He hates it, but it gets the point across. Now school started and he got woken up last night to make her food. So this morning he was tired as all hell. He went to his grandparents and I got in a huge argument with my mom. She thinks I'm an a-hole, but the punishment fits the crime. My son won't talk to me and I'm questioning myself even though my husband is backing up the punishment. I'm gonna say you're not the a-hole here. That seems relatively reasonable, and of course a 17-year-old isn't gonna like that, but hopefully they will learn it, maybe. That's actually a perfect punishment. He woke her up for food, so now he gets to feel what it is like. You also gave him a choice, and he picked this one. The point is, he will be tired when people wake you up for no good reason. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You're the a-hole commenters. Notice that OP says the son chose this punishment over giving up his phone for a month. This is basically model parenting. The son is 17, nearly an adult. He behaved selfishly and stupidly and is now making it up to the person he mistreated. He's been given agency here. He chose to keep his phone over uninterrupted sleep. Well done, OP. As a teacher, not the a-hole. There are lessons which are much more important than the ones you learn at school. school. This is one of them. Edit. For the whiners worrying about the boy's education, don't be ridiculous. It's 2 weeks. That will definitely not shatter his academic career. Moreover, he chose it instead of having his phone confiscated. His sister works in medicine. She could have lost her job or even endangered someone because of being sleep deprived. And you all worry that 2 weeks of being tired might ruin his future. Come on. Anybody complaining is just as entitled as that 17-year-old kid thinks he is. I mean, to purposely go and wake someone up just to make you food is a little ridiculous, at least for the age that he's at. Not the a-hole. Tell him if he wants, he can still choose the other option. He's tired as hell, so was his sister. He can come home and take a nap right after school. Punishments don't end because they're inconvenient. Punishments don't end because I don't wanna. Punishments don't end when the perpetrator wants it to end. I totally understand where the kid's coming from, but running off to your grandparents' house to just tell on your mom as if she's evil is a little weird. I'm confused as to why a 17-year-old needs someone to make him food. For real, like, dude, you're old enough to be doing that yourself, you know? Not the a-hole. He just needs to adjust his bedtime to an hour or two earlier to make up for the missed sleep in the middle of the night. Definitely something he can also learn. Good on you for making the punishment fit the crime. Am I the a-hole? My girlfriend forbid me from using the phone on the toilet because it's gross. Is it bad to use the phone on the toilet? My girlfriend forbid me from using the phone on the toilet because it's gross. Is it bad to use the phone on the toilet? I stopped using it, but I got reprimanded a lot for using it in the past. Did I do something bad by using it? I got that habit from watching American movies where they mentioned it. No, not the a-hole. I mean, granted, it's not a healthy habit because you kind of just stay locked on the toilet for too long, but weird that your girlfriend's trying to police that behavior. Currently on the toilet reading this. Same, bro. I'm pretty sure about 80% of the people on Reddit are doing that currently. Not the a-hole. Your phone, your conversations, your choice. However, if you are dominating the only bathroom while playing on your phone, that moves into a-hole territory. But that's only if you're preventing someone from actually using the toilet. That's a fair point. If you are hogging the only toilet in the apartment, then I understand, because you gotta keep it snappy, you know? Unhealthy dynamic here. What else does she forbid you from? Does she lock you in the basement? Not the a-hole. She has 0% authority on where you use your phone as long as it's not getting pee or poop on it and stays clean. Tell her that your bathroom habits is a boundary that's none of her business. She's not your mom, so she shouldn't be punishing you on anything. That's weird. Not the a-hole. People used to have books and magazines in toilets. They are more unhygienic. You can at least wipe the phone off with wipes. Am I the a-hole for kicking my mother out of my house after she berated my girlfriend for accidentally farting? I'm really torn about this, and I need some perspective. So, my girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years, and we recently moved in together. My mother, who I have a close relationship with, came over for dinner to see our new place. Everything was going well until my girlfriend excused herself to go to another room. She tried to leave discreetly, but unfortunately, she couldn't make it in time and accidentally farted in front of everyone. I could tell she was mortified, but before I could say anything or comfort her, my mother chimed in. She called my girlfriend disgusting and a D-bag, going on to say she needs to be a real woman and be ladylike. I was in shock. My girlfriend was on the verge of tears. I asked my mother to apologize, but she doubled down and said she was only saying the truth. I couldn't take it anymore and told her to leave our house. She left, but not before telling me I was being disrespectful to her. Now she's upset with me, and my dad and grandpa are saying I overreacted. My grandma's on my side with this. I believe in treating my girlfriend with respect, and I don't want anyone in our home who can't do the same. Am I the a-hole? Edit 1. Thanks for the replies. My girlfriend and I decided to go low contact with my mom for the time being. What my mom did was extremely out of character for her. It was unacceptable and wrong. The reason why I'm not going no contact is that my younger brother still lives with her, and he is a minor. I posted here because I wanted to hear other people's thoughts about this and see if I overreacted. I will post another edit soon if it is needed. No, you are not the a-hole. Your mom is insanely weird to call your girlfriend a D-bag just because she accidentally farted. Like, that just happens to people. Like, what? Not the a-hole. I have some news for your mother. Everyone farts. It's part of life. What your mother did is take the opportunity to completely humiliate your girlfriend like she was just waiting for it. Two of you are building a home together, and you both deserve to be respected in that home. If your mother can't do that, she doesn't need to be there. Your mother's reaction to a simple fart is the overreaction. Not the a-hole. Your mom is a guest, and guests can be asked to leave at any time for any reason. That place is your GF's home. She should feel comfortable and safe in it. Enough to fart. Honestly, kudos to her for being thoughtful enough to get up. You and your girlfriend are entitled to do whatever y'all want in your home, and anybody who disagrees can find the door, LMAO. Absolutely! really not the a-hole. Your mother was extremely disrespectful to your girlfriend in your home, not once, but twice. Your mother's goal wasn't honesty, it was shaming and belittling your girlfriend over an accident that your girlfriend made an attempt to prevent. You did the right thing by sticking up for your girlfriend, as siding with your mom or remaining neutral would have made your girlfriend feel even more embarrassed. Farts happen. Your mom needs to grow up and learn some manners herself. Your house. You should fart with pride and even intensity if needed. Am I the a-hole for not sharing my inheritance with the rest of my family? My family situation is messy. I, 25 female, was engaged 4 years ago to my high school sweetheart. My fiance cheated on me with my sister, 28 female. We had never had a good relationship even as kids, so after I found out, I went scorched earth both of them. She was so in love with my fiance, but he dumped her within 2 weeks and was back trying to get me to forgive him. I didn't. My parents were initially on my side, but my sister had a nervous breakdown after she was dumped and was hospitalized, so they changed their tune to, "It's over now and you can't be mad forever." So I dumped them too and went to grad school on the other side of the country. My grandfather was livid with the whole thing, disowned my sister, and chewed out my parents. Sometimes it felt like he was the only one who was on my side and understood. I was able to get my job to let me work remotely and moved back to take care of him when he got sick last fall, and I was devastated when he passed a couple months ago. I had been in limited contact with my parents since I came back, mostly because I didn't want to be an obstacle to my dad seeing my grandfather, but with the understanding that any discussion of my sister or what happened would end that. Turns out that my grandfather left me virtually everything. He left enough for my father to cover a debt and some token stuff for a couple of other relatives, but he wrote letters for everyone and did a videotape with his attorney explaining what his intentions were. I knew that he had done well for himself, but he lived a pretty simple lifestyle, so I didn't realize how much money and assets he really had. I would give it all up to have my papa back, but even after taxes, it is set for life money. My parents are pretty mad about it. One of the reasons stated for cutting them out was how disappointed my grandfather was with how they treated me growing up versus my sister, and over the fiance debacle. There were other reasons, but that's what they're fixated on. The will is pretty airtight apparently, so my parents want me to do the right thing and share it equally between me, them, and my sister. Their argument is that I don't need it. I make more than both of them combined, and this would allow them to retire. My sister is not doing great and can't hold a job, so this would ensure she has something for when my parents pass. I don't want to. My grandfather's wishes were crystal clear, and I also kinda don't feel like doing more than the minimum for any of them. They've been telling me that I'm being vindictive because of a mistake years ago. I can't deny there might be a little vindictiveness there. I don't want them to suffer necessarily, but I also don't feel like they deserve my help. No, you're not the a-hole. Your grandpa gave you the money, so it's up to you if you really want to give it to them, and seeing as you don't have to. Not the a-hole. I'm so sorry your papa is gone. He sounds very lovely and interesting by the way you speak about him here. That said, set your family connections on fire and walk away. That's what he would have wanted, and he granted you the means to do so. Walk tall. You've earned this. My grandpa's wishes were crystal clear. Indeed. And your parents are, again, showing how awful they are by trying to emotionally manipulate you into going against those clear wishes. Your parents were free to patch up these relationships while your grandfather was alive. They didn't, and these are the consequences. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Don't share money with your truly terrible family. They don't deserve it. Take a nice, long vacation and cut them off completely. You know what? It's okay for you to feel a bit petty and vindictive. That incident with your sister was traumatizing for you, and the people who should have supported you took the side of the perpetrator. You are entitled to feel a bit smug that the offenders have received their just rewards as a consequence of their actions. Doesn't it make you wonder what your mother's response would have been if her husband had slept with her sister? We all know the answer, of course. You keep every single penny of that inheritance. Your papa felt so strongly about his choices that he took the time to make documentation to explain his decisions. You must honor that. My condolences on your loss. Big virtual hugs coming your way. I encourage you to block the three of them for your own mental and emotional health. Anything they want to say to you can be said to your attorney, not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend to stop knitting so much? My 30 male girlfriend, 27 female, is really into knitting and has been long before we started dating 3 months ago. At first, it didn't bother me and I thought it was cool she had a hobby, but then I realized just how much she does it. Granted, she's not pulling out the knitting hook at dinner or anything, but it seems anytime we're watching TV together or just hanging out at her place, she's always working on some project. She said she needs to keep her hands busy and it's like fidgeting for her, but I severely doubt that she she can be fully present. You don't have to pay attention when you fidget, and she literally always jokes that she doesn't know how to count. She claims it's not all the time, but it's definitely more often than not. She argued that she can follow TV show plots just fine, but when I quizzed her on some details, she couldn't answer some of the questions, so I think my point stands. Then she said, if it's an important conversation, I obviously put my work down, but I think we have different definitions of what important means. I also told her I would like to be able to cuddle and physically interact with her during TV time. She said we can still cuddle, but it's literally not the same. I want her to be interested in me, not some pile of yarn. This might be petty, but I think I might feel better about it if she knitted things for me. But it always seems to be bags or clothes for herself or like random squares. She did make a pretty cute toy for my dog though. That was actually nice. Anyways, I sat her down the other day and told her my perspective. And instead of being willing to compromise, she told me that I'm the one that's not listening to her and essentially called me an a-hole. She's a great girl and I don't want to lose her over this, but also not sure what to do. Am I the a-hole? This is such a weird situation. Like, I see where you're coming from, but also you're making it a bigger deal than it really has to be. So like, I'm on the fence. I don't know, maybe you're an a-hole. You're the a-hole. You absolutely can knit while maintaining concentration on other things, with the possible exception of any awkward or fiddly bits. Normal knitting just requires a rhythm to be kept. Leave her alone. I might feel better about it if she knitted things for me. I was kind of feeling a tiny bit sorry for you up until this point, but now you're just some needy, whiny person who needs to be the center of their partner's world. You're not happy with her knitting, but if she was knitting for you, you might feel better about it? Do you even hear how that sounds? You're the a-hole. You're the a-hole. Get over yourself. Your girlfriend has a hobby and it's a healthy one. Why change it? Well, you see, it's just not fair that she's not fully paying attention to him at all times whenever he wants it. You're the a-hole. You sound incredibly selfish and self-centered. You'd be okay with her knitting if it was something she was doing for you, but because she's not, she has to have her full undivided attention on you at all times. You actually quizzed her about a TV show and her, according to you, not paying enough attention to the TV show. Pitiful. I've read a lot of jealousy stories on here, but this is the first time ever I've read about someone being jealous of a ball of yarn. For real, dog, you're really upset over some fabric. Like, you need to check yourself. You're the a-hole. Are you feeling insecure because your girlfriend shares her attention with yarn? LOL. Do you want her to concentrate on TV show details, or do you want to cuddle? Or maybe you're just jealous she's not making anything for you. Am I the a-hole for laughing in the middle of my BF family meltdown? Throwaway because my BF siblings are in Reddit. So I've been dating BF for several years. His family is extremely uptight and conservative, coming from a highly regarded family and old money. They are extremely critical of any behavior that is not proper. He has 5 siblings. The second younger entered uni last year, but we, BF and I, felt he has been different towards the family for a couple of years and getting less and less involved. Well, apparently a few weekends ago, he drunk a bit too much and confessed to my BF and another sibling he wasn't sure he was their child. He had some blood tests done for health reasons when he was younger and apparently has a type of blood that is impossible to have considering both their parents' type. This was years ago and he knew that stuff from school. This weekend, they were in their parents' house and it was a mess. He asked them straight up and the mother was furious. Things escalated. Mother and father started yelling and it turns out both mother and father had their share of affairs. Worst, his father yelled that they had an arranged marriage to cover up for her pregnancy. So the oldest sibling was caught in the middle of the whole blowout. I arrived near the end of this and my BF summarized what happened. Thinking about his conservative and proper mother having affairs while condoning young people libertine behavior constantly made me laugh loud. I couldn't help it. Then I laughed some more because I was nervous. My BF was shocked and asked me to leave. I did. I had to travel these days for work and sent him messages, but he didn't answer. Now I'm wondering if I'm the a-hole because I laughed. I apologized. I've sent support messages saying I'll be there for him and siblings, but he hasn't even read those. I can't even comment with my friends because they are mutual friends and I don't know if they know. Was I the a-hole? Ooh, I don't know. Like, I honestly, I'd probably laugh as well because that is just, it's so funny, the hypocrisy, but also they're weirdos for like really ousting you this bad over an accident. Everyone sucks here. The parents most of all, and OP kinda. Laughing, however, is an involuntary response though, and OP did apologize after. On the downside, BF was watching his family fall apart at the seams, so no wonder he's pissed. Yeah, that's valid. It's completely fair. You're the a-hole. I think you already know your reaction reaction hurt your BF. Even if this reaction was involuntary, it's wrong and unkind. You screwed up. Just own it and keep apologizing. Hopefully you hear back from him. Ouch. I get your inappropriate laughter. Have trouble with this sometimes too. But yeah, you're the a-hole. But you already know you messed up. It's hard to get a relationship back from that. He feels disrespected and betrayed. Maybe he'll be able to talk to you and work it through after a bit more time has passed. You're the a-hole. Your BF's family just got ripped apart. How do you think he feels? It isn't about them. It's about him. He's decreased and you laugh. You're the a-hole. Laughing at someone's misfortune is never good, especially when he's exposed you to the dynamics of his family. You should have walked away. Of course you're the a-hole. You're supposed to at least make enough of an effort to hold it in or leave. I guess you have a point. She could have tried just walking away. Am I the a-hole for calling my brother pathetic and less mature than a 3-year-old? At my mother's birthday dinner, my brother reached across the table and took an onion fritter off my daughter's plate. My daughter protested. She said, "Hey, give that back!" But she wasn't screaming. Her volume was above conversational, but not any louder than most people would be in that situation. I asked my brother what is wrong with him, and he started laughing. He said my kids are spoiled and have bad manners. My aunt said, "If you took food off my plate, I wouldn't yell about it," with the emphasis on yell, implying she would do something else instead. My brother ate the fritter, and my daughter said, "Dad, he ate my bhaji. That one was mine." My dad waved down the waiter and asked for another order and told my daughter they would just be for her, and she was happy. My brother then said, "This is why my kids are spoiled." I said you would never take food off an adult's plate. He only felt confident enough to do that because she is 10. I said that was pathetic, and my 3-year-old has better table manners than him. He said he wasn't the one who yelled at the table and that I should be ashamed of letting my kids order so much on dad's dime. I said no. He was the one stealing food at the table, which is way worse than a startled exclamation. He said I was raising my kids not to have social skills or be able to handle disappointment. My mom told everyone to be quiet and not ruin her dinner, so I shut up. After dinner, my brother tried to talk to me, but I just told him to hush and ushered my wife and kids to the car. The main reason I think I might be the a-hole is that this all happened during my mom's birthday dinner. In the moment, I felt I had to defend my daughter, but maybe I should have just ordered a replacement dish for her and not addressed the situation during the dinner. Was I the a-hole? No, I don't think you're the a-hole. I mean, a little bit because of the mom dinner part. At least you recognized that. But your brother is kind of a bozo. What is he doing? Like stealing food off a 10-year-old's plate and then blaming them for being unreasonable. What? Nope, you defended your kid. Good for you. And maybe your brother felt confident he could act out because you were at your mom's dinner and everybody was supposed to behave and he thought nobody would say anything. But your daughter knows what's right and what's wrong and is young enough that the big social politeness thing didn't stop her in the moment. Good for you for backing her up. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. It is pathetic to steal food from your nieces and nephews instead of being an adult and asking, "Hey, niece, can I have one of those?" I'm sensing a golden child regarding your brother dynamic there from your aunt and mom's reaction. Not the a-hole. It was your brother who made the dinner awkward and messed with your mom's birthday dinner. And TBH, your brother sounds less mature than a 3-year-old, so you weren't lying. Is your brother, like, jealous of your 10-year-old or something? Because this doesn't seem like the behavior of a grown man. He thinks my kids have it better than we did growing up. Even if that were true, debatable, who cares? I think it's a mark of success when later generations have a better and easier life than the last. When your children get to grow up better and more comfortable than you did. So your brother sounds even dumber to me now. Not the a-hole. If it happened during your mom's birthday dinner, then she got to see the outcome of her own child rearing. Good for you for standing up for your kid. Am I the a-hole for telling my niece she has to leave my apartment so my nephew can stay? I'll call my nephew Sam, 27, and my niece, Ann, 20. Sam is my brother's son, and Ann is my wife's sister's daughter. My sister-in-law's family live on the opposite coast, and Ann moved here to attend college. Lived in student housing. She dropped out this year, on leave. She said a year, but it's not confirmed. Don't know if she's even planning to go back. I own an apartment in the area, and Ann/sister-in-law asked if she could stay there while on leave, since she can't stay in student housing anymore. I said okay, and she's been there a few months. I don't charge her any rent, and she sometimes pays utilities. Sam recently lost his job, found another one, but it's not much, and he and his partner are having a hard time with rent. Me and my wife had a discussion, but she doesn't think we should tell Ann to leave and Sam can find somewhere else. They're older and don't really need it. I told Ann we'll give her some time to find another place, but Sam and his partner would be moving in afterwards. Sharing isn't an option apparently because Ann, and my sister-in-law's family, said she'd rather not have to share with people she doesn't know. My wife agrees with them. Ann got kind of upset at hearing she's going to have to move, and my wife is on my butt saying this isn't fair. I don't know. On one hand, hand, I understand why you'd want to move Sam in because he's more closely related to you, but at the same time, Anne is already there and younger, so, like, it's probably better just to let them have this for a minute? So, you want to kick out someone who is living for free to bring in someone else who is living for free? You're the a-hole. Let Anne finish out the year. Edit. OP has commented that Sam and his wife are used to an extravagant lifestyle and that Anne would like to stay in the apartment to be near her doctors. If Anne is sick and needs her doctors, OP, you are awful. Moreover, kicking Anne out to move in Sam and his wife because they need to live rent-free to continue their extravagant lifestyle is insane. You're the a-hole. Oh, those are some new details. If that's true, then yeah, you're kind of the a-hole. You're the a-hole due to this little gem conveniently left out. Nephew and wife are used to a more extravagant lifestyle, so they overspend and now their choices are catching up to them? You said niece can stay while on leave and are backing out to help your spend-happy nephew instead. Yeah, that's definitely a big piece of information to leave out because that really changes the whole vibe of the story. Not the a-hole. She is there rent-free, not contributing. Not your responsibility to fund her sitting on her butt for a year when someone else genuinely needs support. With the information we sort of know now, this is the kind of response they were looking for by purposefully leaving out that information about Sam. You're the a-hole. You and your wife discussed and then you did the exact opposite of what she wanted. Soon you will be looking for a place after the divorce. Your post is misleading. You make it sound like she's a freeloader who just decided to drop out without any intention to do something different like working or going to community college. But your comments reveal that she is in fact dropped out for medical reasons. So you're the a-hole. You're the a-hole! Just because your nephew didn't budget and overspent his savings doesn't mean a most likely struggling young adult should have to pay the price while she figures out what she wants to do in life. You made a commitment and agreement with Anne and now you're breaking it for someone who is much older, knows better, and can't manage money well? Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my sister wear a sentimental necklace on her wedding day that our grandma left me in her will? My sister, 27 female, and I, 24 female, are both getting married next year. I'll be getting married first in May, and then my sister is getting married in September. 6 months ago, our grandma died. She was the only member of my family I was close to, and the only member of my family to treat me like I was worth anything. My parents always favored my sister and were tough on me because I was a lot more work than her with learning disabilities and mental health problems from a young age. My sister bullied me and wished me dead and said I didn't deserve to be born when I only burdened our family. We have aunts and uncles who were also very hard on me. They were bothered with how much I cried and how behind I was in school. My grandma was my rock, and I leaned on her for so long. When she got sick, my fiance and I took care of her, and before she died, she gave us a large chunk of money to pay for our wedding and our future together. After she died, we learned she had donated most of her money and only left the minimum to the kids and grandkids. I was left her photos and a necklace that my grandpa gave her when they were getting married. It's this really sweet necklace that is sentimentally valuable due to the history it has. She said she wanted me to have it for my wedding day and to wear every day after if I want, because I always loved staring at it. My family were all upset that grandma basically disinherited them. My sister more so. She didn't actually get left anything, not even the minimum monetary amount. My grandma left letters, and in my sister's, she said that of all the people in the family, she was most disgusted by her treatment of me, and she said she could not rest if she left her something. She called all the family members out on their treatments of me. This shocked my family, especially the fact she had so much animosity towards my sister. My sister wants the necklace to wear for her wedding day. She said I can have it back, but it's a family heirloom and I should not hog it. That grandma was her grandma too, and that the rest of the family feel like she should wear it sooner than I should, but since the thing is mine, I should choose to share it. I refused. The blowback from my refusal has been strong, and my fiance and I have both been blocking family members of mine left and right. They all say I'm in the wrong. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your grandmother gave that to you and nothing to your sister for a reason. Further, I have a strong hunch that if you loan this to your sister, you'd never see it again. Don't do it. Not the a-hole. Your sister treated you like crap. Your grandma gave the necklace to you because you are a good person. Don't let your sister touch it. There is the risk that she won't give it back or damage it because she is jealous. Let her be jealous. Let her be sad and mad. She was a bad sister to you and does not deserve any nice gesture from you. Not the a-hole. Do not let your sister borrow it because you're definitely not getting it back. Not the a-hole. A lifetime of wrong does not right them to get their way with the jewelry. Do not relent refusing her request. This quote was enough to confirm your decision. You cannot and should not trust any item or person you love to your sister. You will not get the necklace back once it leaves your home. Your sister is entitled. She and family earned your Gmaw's feedback. Every word. Best to you. My sister bullied me and wished me dead and said I didn't deserve to be born when I only burdened our family. Yeah, that right there is grounds enough to never speak to her again. Not the a-hole. They bullied you your entire life. They deserve nothing. Wear it with pride at your wedding. Keep saying no to the sister and family. It will empower you. Expect some to not attend your wedding and perhaps be uninvited to your sister's. Stand tall. Well, I think that was pretty informative, but now I gotta inform you that this video's done. Thank you all once again for watching. My name is Brandon and I will make sounds at you some other day. Bye!